So I just need you to turn around for me, because we're going to put you in cuffs right now.
Why?
Because I told you you're under arrest for your outstanding warrant.
No.
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
For what?
She told you to put your hands behind your back.
I didn't say put...
Take out your phone and
so what
phone
it is,
somebody,
it's a
okay?
mischief charge?
What mischief?
We don't know. We're just the messengers.
I never thought that this would ever be possible in Canada. But today you can see that almost everything is possible now.
This is a preacher. This is a man of God. He's not a violent man. He has no criminal record. He's speaking respectfully and calmly to the officers. It was really shocking.
Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, and as you know, I am sure, matters of freedom of religion in Canada have definitely been infringed lately in a lot of different ways. And here with me, I have Michael, a street preacher who often preaches on the streets of Vancouver. And you were surprised with an arrest at his home in front of his family and charges. Michael is actually going to be one of our newest Fight the Fines cases. If you don't know what Fight the Fines is, it is where amazing people just like you come together and support people like Michael who are receiving tyrannical fines, or in this case, criminal charges for doing things that Canadians should be free to do, or anyone in the world. And in this case, it's preaching the gospel to whoever wants to hear it, right?
Exactly.
So,
those who don't want to hear it, they can walk by.
Right.
It's free streets, the highway, just walk by. And it's a freedom of speech. You have your freedom, I have mine. If you don't like what I say, I can't help you, but I'm not offended. I'm not here to offend. I'm here to warn and let people know the day of judgment is coming, to change their ways and be good. Actually, what I'm doing should be saving a lot of money for the city, because if people change their ways, you wouldn't have criminals breaking things and stealing. You will have police will have a better job. You will have a less problematic problems on their hands. Repent and turn, change your ways. Change your ways and turn to God, and He will have mercy on your soul. I was singled out just like other street preachers.
So tell us a little bit about what happened. What were you doing just before you came home and walked right into that?
I was actually, my door handle broke that day, and I went to the Home Depot to get a new door handle. And from there, my wife called me on the phone and said, the police were here and looking for you. What's going on? I said, I don't know. I said, it might be, I said, maybe, who knows? It probably from the people that attacked me on the street before, because I preach in Surrey sometimes. I have a couple of people in Surrey that attack me, and, I report them to the police, and the police, took action. RCMP took action. So I thought, maybe one of those cases is being called to show up at court to answer, to stay away from me, and maybe they need my signature, because that's what they told my wife. They just have a paper for me to sign. That's what RCMP told me. I said, well, okay, and I told them to wait for me. I'm on my way home, and they said, well, okay, do you want to come to the station and sign it there? I said, no, you guys are already there, so I'll head home. I'll see you there. They said, okay. They waited, and lo and behold, when I got there, I saw, 3 police cruisers. I thought, okay, this doesn't look like for a paper, to sign a paper. It looks suspicious. I mean, I know for a fact that the days are wicked. I mean, a pastor just went to jail in Calgary, and I thought all of those things are going through my head. I'm like, okay. So what I did is I turned on my recorder and start recording, and I answered them, and they told me, well, you are under arrest. I'm like, for what?
You know what? That's great. You have a recording, so why don't we just play a little bit of that so people can see what happened as well.
So the reason we're here today is because Vancouver sent us over here in relation to a file. I don't know if they've tried to get a hold of you or not, But
No.
basically, what's going on is they've issued a warrant for you. So Vancouver did.
Vancouver police or,
Yes,
or
Vancouver police did.
for what?
So for mischief is the charge that they're going with.
What mischief?
That's something you can take up with them. That's information that they'll have for you. So at this,
Mischief?
yes.
It doesn't make sense. From what? Which area? Where? I mean, I need to know what the tenants
So
are.
right
what
now I'm
the-
just letting you know that you're under arrest for your outstanding warrant, okay? And then
Us-
once we have all that information, I'll give you the information that we have, okay?
Once you
so-
have what information?
Okay, so I just need you to turn around for me, because we're gonna put you in cuffs right now.
Why?
Because
Because I told you you're under arrest for your outstanding warrant.
Okay, let me tell my wife.
No, put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
For what?
She told you to put your hands behind your back.
I didn't
That
say
doesn't mean
put.
take out your phone and
So what
phone
it is,
somebody,
it's a
okay?
mischief charge.
What mischief?
We don't know. We're just the messengers. It's from Vancouver PD. You're going to get a paper with a court date on it, and then you're going to get released.
Well, my wife needs to know.
We'll tell her. We'll tell her.
We'll talk to her.
Yeah,
You're going to be back home in a couple hours.
that doesn't make sense.
We don't know. We're not the ones that talk.
I'll give this to her and I'll tell her what's going on, okay?
So I'm just gonna bring you to my car. Sorry, 2004 quickly.
I have no idea.
Clear on that.
I have zero clue what's
So
going
my partner's
on.
just gonna pat you down here quickly and make sure you have nothing sharp on you that can harm any of us. Yeah. I'm just gonna go to the front so we can take anything in his pockets out before we go inside.
This doesn't make sense at all.
Do you have anything in your pockets that's going to cut me or you, sir?
I don't have anything. My wallet.
Do you remember anything happening in Vancouver at all?
No, I don't remember anything happening in Vancouver at all that.
Okay. Like I said,
that
they didn't give us.
warrants any mischief.
Yeah,
I'm
they
a,
didn't.
I'm a street preacher. What's
Where's your keys?
my keys? I'm holding
Oh,
in
you're
my
on the
hand.
They didn't give us any information yet. So basically,
This makes no sense. Zero clue to
yeah.
me.
So I'll give you the Vancouver file number, and then you'll have to contact
Let me look
Vancouver.
under here, okay?
This makes no sense.
So now tell us, was your family present? Did they see any of this?
Yeah, my family was there. My wife was waiting for me to get home, and then once I got home, they were. My wife was standing at the door watching, the whole thing, and they next thing I know is that they turned me around and put me on handcuffs. Like I was still dazed. I was still confused as to what's going on. Mischief for what? What mischief? I start thinking, what am I doing that could be considered a mischief? I've never broken the law before, and so they put me in cuffs and put me in the police cruisers. My neighbors were there out watching. They wanted to talk to me. They couldn't talk to me because I'm in the cruiser. So they took me to the station.
And so the charges, they don't say you're charged with preaching the gospel. They explain a little bit about what the reason has been that you were given for why you were charged with mischief.
I believe it's because the only thing I think of it was what I do. I'm on the street and I preach the gospel and I hand out tracts to people and I preach to those who might want to hear that. But I think that one of the reason is because I was preaching in Commercial Drive, which is what the case they stated, that I was on the 31st of October to 28th of November, that I was in this was after I found out what it was, and that I was in there and I was disturbing the people from using their property, enjoying their property. I was impeding, I was obstructing. I'm thinking I'm on a sidewalk. How can I be obstructing people? So the fine was mischief, which I don't know what constitutes mischief. Because for me, I think when I come to look at it afterwards, I think it's mischaracterization, because for preaching the gospel to be mischaracterized as mischief, for me, I'm thinking to myself, what kind of world we're living in today? I thought maybe something that these kind of things, people get sued for it, for mischaracterizing someone, for doing something. But that's what they call it.
There's forgiveness. There's hope in Jesus Christ.
And they released me at the RCMP, and they gave me a court date to appear on the 800 Hornby here on 25th of March at 9 a.m. So I have no idea what awaits me, and so I begin to seek out for help by anyone that could help to unright this injustice. And
well, thank you for, speaking out about this on your YouTube channel, because when that got sent to me by one of our supporters, I was able to reach out to you. And thanks for the people who donated at fightthefines.com. We're able to offer you a top-notch criminal defense lawyer. How did that make you feel when you heard that?
Well, it's a big weight off my shoulders, because I was thinking about what, how am I gonna get this resolved, learning that that this may have 2-year imprisonment, and I have no idea what to do. That there was so much confusion. So this is a big weight off my shoulder, because it's a good thing that I see that you guys are doing, helping people fight for justice. And because I believe that religious freedom is under attack in this nation, for me, as for a person who's on the street, a street preacher, we kind of like the canary birds that get the first wave of what's going on. And when you stand up for what is constitutionally right, you get, it seems like our country has lost that momentum, has lost that morality. So I can appeal to the Queen to actually follow her oath. I mean, the governor, the Lieutenant General for BC, because when the Queen was on her coronation date, she swore to protect the gospel in Canada, in all the territories. It's written on her coronation speech ceremony, and to protect the law of God in Canada. So I never thought that this would ever be possible in Canada, but today you can see there's almost everything is possible now.
Mm-hmm. So we're just getting started with this now. We don't know how expensive this case is going to be, so we need your help. Please donate at fightthefines.com if you want to support Michael and lots of other Canadians. We've helped hundreds of them. And right now we're going to speak to the lawyer who will be helping defend Michael.
Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life.
Section 2 of the Charter of Rights provides for freedom of religion. And this includes the right to declare religious beliefs openly and without fear of repercussion. Your freedom of religion is infringed when, number 1, you sincerely believe in a certain practice, and number 2, when the restriction or law violates your ability to practice in this way. Michael's core beliefs dictate that he spread the message of Jesus or God. He sincerely believes that this is what is required of him as part of his religious practice. And this isn't a controversial view in Christianity. This is a pretty widely held view. So he goes out and spreads the message. And it's important to paint the picture here. He's at a noisy street corner, being drowned out by the sounds of cars and people. And Michael has a tiny speaker at his waist on which he's preaching for people to be closer to God. And then he gets arrested and charged with the criminal offense of mischief. You have a guy here who's spreading messages of love in order to help people. That's what he wants. He wants to help people. And whether or not you agree with his views doesn't matter. He has the right to practice his religion. And this isn't some huge speaker. It's not some big boombox. He's not violating any noise bylaws. He's not hurting anyone. He's not bullying anyone. maybe people don't like what he has to say. Maybe they're not churchgoers, but that isn't a reason to hit him with a criminal charge. And ultimately, if you don't like what he has to say and you're walking by him, you could just keep on walking. And why are his words any different from people who have slogans on their shirts, controversial slogans, or people who are playing loud rap music with controversial lyrics? What's the difference? I mean, what he's doing is way better than that, in my opinion. So why is it up to us to pick and choose when it's okay to express your religion or political views or thoughts? And you know what? I can't help but think that this is a war on religion. I mean, if he were an atheist preaching on the streets, I'm convinced he wouldn't get arrested.
Wow. And what about the actual arrest, the way it was done and the charge of mischief? Is there anything about that that you think is concerning from a legal perspective?
Crazy. I heard that audio recording of his arrest, and it was extremely troubling. First off, you have two officers who come to a preacher's home to arrest him in front of his family, in front of his friends. I mean, this man has two young children, and they have to see their father being put in cuffs. This is a preacher. This is a man of God. He's not a violent man. He has no criminal record. He's speaking respectfully and calmly to the officers. It was really shocking. And then you turn to the conversation, if you could call it that, between him and the officers. And I remember the female officer says to him, the reason why we're here today is because Vancouver has sent us over here in relation to a file. Like, excuse me? The reason why we're here today is because Vancouver has sent us over here in relation to a file? That's like saying, the reason I'm fat is because I eat. Yeah, obviously, that's not a reason. And he keeps asking, why am I being arrested? And they can't answer. And the male officer even chimes in and states, we don't know, we're just the messengers. And again, Michael asks, why am I being arrested? And the female officer tells him that they'll give him the Vancouver file number and he can look it up. Again, what does that mean? Is this guy checking out a library book? You know, when you tamper with someone's liberty and arrest them in front of everyone, you better have a good reason for arresting them. And this is enshrined in our charter. Section 10A of our charter makes it clear that Michael has the right to promptly be told the reasons for why he's being arrested. And the officers clearly violated his charter right. And there's no way that it could be justified. And the main purpose of having this charter right is so that Michael can know the extent of the situation so that he can properly exercise his right to counsel. If Michael doesn't know why he's being arrested, he doesn't have what he needs to properly assess if he should speak to a lawyer or not. And a mischief charge is somewhat serious. In Michael's situation, it can carry a sentence of up to 2 years in jail, plus probation, plus a criminal record. And even if there's no jail time, the criminal record and probation alone are serious. So at the end of the day, hearing the audio, it sounds like the officers are treating this situation as if they're handing him a $35 parking ticket, and it's completely unacceptable and a clear violation of his charter rights.
Wow, it's a scary time in Canada. We've done lots of reports on Pastor James Coates, and hopefully we don't see anything similar to that in British Columbia. But it sounds like you are the right lawyer to be fighting this case, and I'm so happy to be locking arms with you on behalf of Michael, as well as Canadians who are concerned about their liberties in general. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please head to fightthefines.com so that we can all do something about this. We don't need to take a stand. Whatever you donate there helps support any of the people who have tried to live life and received a tyrannical fine because of it. Thank you so much.